All right, we're joined by Oklahoma head coach Patty Gasso and players Sam Landry, Ella Parker, and Abigail Dayton. Reminder to please silence your cell phones and give your name and media affiliation when you get the mic to ask a question. Recording video with your cell phone at the press conference is prohibited. If you want to ask a question on Zoom, use the raise hand function. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Gasso, go to questions just for the players, dismiss the players, then go to questions just for Coach Gasso. So if you have an opening statement, feel free.
Okay. Tough game for us, but I will say Kavan was throwing really well, and had us a little bit off balance. I think we talked as a group that our offensive mindset was not like it has been, and that made a difference. But I thought Sam threw well. It's hard to shut down a Texas offense. They're kind of very much like us. And defense played well also. The biggest issue that is circled right here on my paper is 9 runners left on base, and that cannot happen against a good team like Texas.
Okay, we'll start off front row left, Ron.
Ryan Aber from the Oklahoman. For Ella and Abby, you hear Patty talk about the offensive approach and game plan today. What did you feel like maybe wasn't there today versus Kavan, and what was the biggest difference from when y'all faced her in the regular season?
I mean, Kavan had a really good game. She's a really good pitcher. I just think our in-game adjustments weren't locked in, and that's just something we needed to work on.
We just had to work on making sure we were swinging at first pitches that were coming through the plate. There were many balls that we were swinging at that we don't normally swing at, and so just being able to make in-game adjustments, I think that threw us off. So.
Okay, we go third row on the right.
For any of the players, I mean, you guys have beaten Texas so much up here. I'm guessing the confidence level was still pretty high, even, getting down to the last couple outs. What was going through y'all's mind just in that last inning?
Just continuing to stay loose. We know how to play this game, so not making any moment too big, and just continuing to pass the bat is what we were talking about and what we really focused on.
Okay, we go front row left, James.
James Hale. Sam, talk about your performance today and how you think things went for you today.
I thought defensively the team looked very good. So we were just trying to keep the ball in the park, and it doesn't always go that way. So they came up with some timely hits, some good hits, and that helped them a lot. So I'm really proud of the defense. I thought they looked great today. Another double play today. So.
More questions for players? Okay, we go front row right.
Ryan Chevins, just hi. Ella, you guys were in this spot a year ago, just as far as having to come back against Florida. What was kind of the message and everything going into tomorrow?
We're just ready to come out and compete again. We're ready.
Okay, we'll go third row left.
James Kreppe with the Oregonian. Ella, you're one of the few players who played Oregon last year, and I realized a lot of players on both teams have changed, but they do have one pitcher who was a holdover. What do you remember of the Norman Regional and playing Sokolsky last year? I realize it's right off a game against Texas, but what do you recall of the matchup with Oregon last year?
I don't remember.
All right, we'll go second row left. You're right.
Daily. Sam, just those 2 home runs in the 5th and 6th, just take me through those at-bats, and what was your mindset going into them?
The mindset going into all of them is get the defense a ground ball, get them a fly ball to work with, and I think both of those pitches were just left too much over the heart of the plate or right in their barrel path. So, they got a good hit on it, and we're ready to bounce back tomorrow.
Do you want it? Or
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, for Sam, just talk about your defense today. I know it wasn't enough, obviously, to pull out the win, but still more plays like you had 2 days ago in the opener. How big is that for you guys going forward?
Yeah, like Coach always says, defense wins championships. So I think the defense looked absolutely amazing. They kept us in it as long as we could. So they had a lot of fire today, and just ready to bring it back tomorrow.
Okay, have time for maybe one more. Anybody? All right. Thank you, players.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach Gasso? Go.
James Hale. Patty, Tegan was, she can throw 70, so that's always a constant thing. But wasn't her ability to throw that change for a strike, which she hasn't always been able to do, but she was able to do it today?
That was part of it. It's hard to be on time for something hard and something that is, like a change up. So she was kind of moving the ball up early, and then she started really hammering the zone down and mixing in those change ups. She was really tough today. I give her 100% credit. She was really, really good, and our timing was off, and our plans were a little bit uncertain.
Okay, we'll go front row right to Jesse.
Jesse Crittenden, OU Insider. Patty, you mentioned the 9 runners stranded. There being some plays you guys were able to get runners on but not bring them home. Just what was kind of keeping that from happening, and what can you guys learn from that?
I think movement of runners is really important. We got a bunt down. We popped a bunt up. We had I think Ilana hit something hard to the right side to move a runner in scoring position. We're just trying to get runners in scoring position. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say except it's not that they weren't trying. There was a little bit of frustration going on in the offensive side of things, and you could feel it. Just a little bit of uncertainty, or what should I look for? What should I choose? But I think the goal is just getting runners in scoring position. And we did have a couple of those opportunities that could have changed, could have, but didn't. And that's, the toughness of this game.
Okay, we go front row left over here to Mason.
Mason Young, Tulsa World. Patty, to kind of follow up on what Ryan asked Ella, you've had teams that have been in this situation before here, backs against the wall. How much can you draw on that to help this team get ready for tomorrow?
A lot. They were in the same position. I mean, they literally were in the same position 2 days ago. So we talked about this is not uncommon right here. We've been here. We know how to come back. What I need to make sure I understand is all these people up here, with the exception of Ella and everyone in our dugout, is new to this. And I've got to keep them grinding. I got to keep them not getting caught up in what if or thinking about the outcome. I've got to keep these guys in the moment and make them believe. And when you run into a saw, like that's what it felt like. She was just chopping us up a bit. But I stood in front of these guys today and I said, I've been waiting for this moment to see what this team is truly made of. So that's what we're going to be ready for.
Okay, we'll stay front row left. Go ahead.
Colton Sully, the Oklahoman. Patty, I know this game's fresh on your mind, but I'm just curious what tomorrow will mean to you facing Melissa on this stage, and what you've thought of the job she's done this week to get her team here.
Yeah, I haven't even had a thought about it quite yet, but we'll get ourselves ready for it. It's a celebration. I mean, she has been with me for over 20 years. It's like a sister to me, an older sister to me. Sid Romero is one of my all-time favorites. Sam Martyr worked with us. I mean, we know them very well. So it's going to be a battle. We're both fighting for our teams, but at the same time, there's absolute mutual respect, which feels good in this game. To feel like you can feel that way against the team that you're playing against. I already know it's going to be done professionally and the right way, and that means a lot to me. So that's what I if it's not going to be us, I want it to be them. I'll say that very clearly and out loud because they've lived in our program, and their program, I think, might mimic us a little bit by the way she's coaching, but I take that as a complete honor.
Okay, we'll stay front row left.
Yeah, Clay Horning, Norman Transcript. Patty, you've had pitchers that have become their best selves on this stage before. That might be happening to Tegan Kavan right now. And just what are their common denominators? What is it, mentally between the ears that allows a pitcher to sort of elevate?
Yeah, I can't speak for her. I'm not in their locker room or anything. I just can tell you that some of the pitchers that we've had in the past that have been elite on this stage, to me, is just the absolute mental focus. Like, you've got to get in a zone and you got to stay in a zone. And that's really important. That's what I felt out there.
Okay, we got time for two more. Ryan, front or left?
Yeah, Patty sort of gets lost and maybe doesn't matter as much, but right before the home run there in the fifth, Mike, challenged, I guess, that defensive shift that y'all had done. I know it was a little bit different that time. What was he saying? What did they tell you? And he said that was something that maybe he needed to look into, moving forward.
I wasn't talking with them. I had a conversation with the umpire before the game even started, knowing that we were going to do that. What do you want me to do? And he said, nothing. Just let them in. Let them come in. So I did exactly what I was told, and there's no way. Thank goodness he didn't turn that around on me, but that's what our conversation was, and that's what I understood.
Okay, last one, front row right, Joe.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Patty, you guys have certainly had the better of Texas, especially here in the World Series. Mike White said that in some ways it was a mental hurdle for them to overcome. I was just wondering, from your perspective, have you sensed almost a mental edge that your side has had in this series?
We have a mental edge at home, for sure. I can feel that. And I think they have it when they're in their environment as well. They're too good. Their team is too good for us to walk in and think, well, we're just going to shut them down, or they're too good. They've proven it. They are that good. They're definitely a team that can win this whole thing. I know that. But we're not done yet, and that's what's really exciting for me. Is I just am really looking forward to seeing our response and rebound with this team. For me, it is going to mean the world, because it's going to take us into the next couple of years. So these young players are feeling this, and they'll be able to preach it to the new ones that are coming in. But we're not done yet, but I can't tell you how proud I am of what this group is doing and how they've gotten here. And I'm really anxious to see how they go forward.
Okay, that'll wrap things up. Thank you.
Thank you.